What's up, everyone? Welcome to Opening Up. I'm your host, Arthur, and this is episode 11. And today we're going to talk about relationships. And in honor of this weekend, WrestleMania in Las Vegas, going to open up a box of Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition 2025, which includes one Chrome autograph. So, very excited about this. So we'll talk about relationships. I know in one of my earlier episodes, episode 3, 21911, I spoke about how I met my wife and how we came to be. Well, this conversation will be about relationships. And I'm going to share how me and my wife, now this year will be 20 years that we've been together. And while by all means, it has not been perfect, we have done leaps and bounds to make our relationship work. And I want to share some of that with you. One of the biggest things I've come to realize in the last 20 years is that you change as a person. Forget relationships, forget anything. You just change as a person. Me at 25 is not the same as me at 35, who's not the same as me now at 45. My mindset is different, and part of that is experience. Part of that is knowledge that I've taken in over the years. Part of it is just old age. No, and why I say that is that it's also understanding that my wife for the last 20 years is not the same person she was 20 years ago, even though she will vow that I'm still, she's not. And that's not a bad thing, because I think what we were able to do successfully is that we were able to grow together and understanding that we're not the same that we used to be 20 years ago. One of the biggest things for me, especially as being an only child, is learning to think of others and sharing and compromising and doing for another person. And that's what I did with my wife. Now, I did it in other areas, like with my kids and with family, but in a relationship. Because with that one-on-one, it's the most intimate of relationships, of any relationship you could have in life. It's more intimate with your kids, more than your family, your parents, more than anyone else. It's going to be you, even more than your best friend. You and your partner is the most intimate relationship. Because once you decide, especially if you decide to get married or you decide to live together, you're there constantly together, day in, day out. And you really get to know every idiosyncrasy that you have of each other. So for me and my wife, it was really gelling together. It was really understanding each other, accepting each other, and then growing together. And I look where we are now, and like I said, my wife, I feel she's made me the best version of who I could be. And I feel that I've done the same for her. It's not to say that if we were on our own and we weren't together, we still wouldn't be good people. I think we could have. I don't know if I would have reached the success I would have reached. I don't know if I would have the mindset that I have right now. I think she played a lot into that because she gave me a different view than what I was used to. And I think vice versa. I think I've given her some views that she may not have seen or may not agree with. And over the years has softened those stances. And that's okay. That's part of growing. If you're the same person you were 20 years ago, I think that's a problem. As you get older, you should be growing. And you should be questioning more things. And you should not be so adamant on your views. It doesn't mean that you give up on your principles. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying just be more open to listen to other views. And maybe that in a sense can modify the way you see things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think in society sometimes it's like if you say something one time, whatever, you held to it for the rest of your life, and that's just nonsense. Again, you grow. You could think 20 years ago, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then 20 years later, like, well, you know what? I'm not. Perfect example. And they talked about this, I think, in therapy, in psychology. Kids, like they're 18, 20, they're fearless. They're not scared of anything. And that's why a lot of times they do knucklehead dumb things when they're younger. As you get older, you become more cognizant of how valuable and how precious life is. So then you become more laid back. You become a little more guarded. Like, okay, hold on, wait. Let me think this out. Does this make sense to do this? I could get hurt. It's going to cost me money. If I have to go to the hospital, I might lose days. And what happens to my job? you start thinking of all the potential consequences of this action. Whereas when you're 18, screw it, I'll do it. What's the worst that could happen? So if you're in a relationship right now, and I see like one thing I also want to say that me and my wife, what we do, and it's something I don't think couples do enough. And listen, this is a small sample size of just couples that I know. So, but from based on that sample size, in my view, couples who have kids sometimes don't focus on their relationship with their spouse, with their partner. Instead, they put all their time and attention into their children, or sometimes to their work, or to errands and responsibilities, and not to the relationship. And what happens sometimes is, let's say, within the children's sake, the children are going to become adults. Well, soon, once children become teenagers, they don't want to deal with their parents. But once they become adults, they're going to start living their own lives. And they're going to have their own families. And then at the end, it's just going to be you and your spouse. And if for 18 years, 20 years, you haven't been cultivating that relationship, if you haven't been really fostering it and feeding it and nourishing it, you're going to have a dead relationship. And people are surprised, like, oh, but and that's why you see a lot of people get divorced when the kids leave the house. And it's because they don't know how to be together. Because unbeknownst to them, they've changed within those years also. Because like I said, as you get older, more often than not, you're going to change. And that connection is not there. One of the things I give my wife, like when we started dating, and listen, she started dating me with an already made family. I had two kids already. I had two boys. They both lived with me. And I was raising them by myself with the help of my mom. And, you know, that was my wife, man. She was like, listen, I'm going to take them in. Treat them as my own. But understand this. We're going to do 2 vacations a year. One vacation is a family vacation, all of us. And one vacation, just me and you. Because I also want to make sure that we're good throughout all this. For such a young person to have that foresight is amazing. Because I truly believe that's one of the biggest reasons why our relationship is as strong as it is right now. And it's because she made a point that we would still connect together. And we grew together. And now the kids, like I said, they're grown. My oldest one is 28 out the house. My youngest one's 24. He's practically out the house. So it's just me and my wife, and we enjoy being in each other's company. Listen, we survived COVID. In COVID, we survived, and I was probably more of a hindrance to her because, you know, I'm not always the best one to help around the house, and I'm not the best one at that. We know our roles. There are things I'm great at, and there's things I suck at. There's some things she's great at, and there's some things that she likes to be in control of, which apparently I don't do well. She knows what I'm talking about, but it's okay. It's okay because I do things very well that she doesn't want to deal with, and that's our relationship works well that way. But like I said, we love spending time together. We don't like going long periods of time without each other. I can't, every morning I kiss her goodbye before I leave. I hate sleeping apart from her. It's very seldom, few times that I've had to. So, listen, I'm not saying I'm an expert in relationships. I just know that I've been in a healthy, happy relationship for 20 years now, come July. And I wanted to just try to dissect to see why that was. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is just that we continue to build our relationship together. So if you have a partner and right now you know how things are going, I mean, really ask yourself, have you really put the time into your relationship? And hopefully it's not too late and you can start spending that time. Listen, even if you have kids, you know what? Find that time, whether it be a date night, whether it be watch a show together, whether it be go away. Listen, it's okay if you go away, if you have someone that can watch your kids. But yeah, your life shouldn't be just your kids, man. You also need to make time for you guys. Because like I said, kids are going to be gone and that wasn't happening. All right, let's get into it. WWE Chrome. Very excited about this. Go pop this open. Woo! Box cut up. Let's see, Paul. Very excited. You see, so I'm not like, I used to be a much bigger wrestling fan when I was younger, but I still enjoy it. I love the storyline now, the whole John Cena thing. I love him turning heel. Amazing. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 packs. Ooh, this one seems like a heavy one. I'm gonna leave that one for last. Although they say like sometimes the pack is a little different. It could be a good card, so you know. Here we go. Card number one. I mean, pack number one. We have Ludwig Kaiser. Trick Williams, 14 of 75. Trick Williams. Baya baya. That trick. All right, let's see. Akira Tozawa. Nikita Lyons. Let's see if I can try to show all the cards. Boom. All right, that's the first pack. We're going to go to the second pack now. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Oh, Trick Williams. I'm actually going to put him. I told you I was going to be better with this. I'm going to put Trick Williams inside of plastic. Here we go. I think this is green. I want to say that's green. It looks like it's green. My wife made fun of me because in the last episode I was like, oh, that's orange. I think it's green. She's like, no, that was still orange. I was like, oh, it looked like green to me. But this looks like green to me. And I hope I'm right. If not, my wife is going to make fun of me. That looks like green. All right. Here's the next pack. We have Grayson Waller, Apollo Cruz, Isla Dawn, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes. Oh, I was going to show the cards. Carmelo Hayes, Dawn. Here we go. Apollo Cruz. And there you go. Grayson Waller. All right. Next up on the docket, we have Gunther. Okay. Had a little stutter there. Sorry about that. Kit Wilson. Jimmy Uso. Tyler Bate. All right. Here we go. Getting closer to that signature card. Getting closer to the signature card. Oh, yeah. Getting closer to that signature. Stutter there, and that was because my laptop was about to die. I had to do a little pause. This is the first time I've ever paused my video. So if it's a little... Sorry about that. Angelo Dawkins. All right, here's the signature card from my era. William Regal. William Regal. Very nice. This I gotta put away in a nice sleeve so I don't mess it up. William Regal signature card. Very, very nice. A legend. William Regal. Wasn't he like the commissioner of wrestling at one point? Very, very nice. Here we go. William Regal. Alba Fire. And Shawn Michaels, my son's favorite wrestler all time. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got 4 down, 4 away. I think we're 4 down. Could be. We have Ren Sinclair. We have Otis, 23 of 50. Look over here. Uncle Howdy. And Michael Satomura. All right, here we go. I got another card I got to put in a little plastic thing. So I put all the signature cards and all the limited cards inside a packet. And one day we'll get sent over to PSA. There we go. Bing-a-ding. Otis. All right, we are 3 packs away. Thank you again, everybody, for hanging along and staying with me. I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Ivar, I'm not sure the wrestler. Bronson Reed. Kurt Angle. It's true. It's true. Maurice? I was going to say Marcy, but that's not right. All right, here we go. 2 packs away. 2 packs away. Here comes June. Here comes June. All right, over here we have Thea Hale. Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Trick Williams again. Maxine Dupree. All right. And last but not least, so there's some, it looked like it was big, but maybe it was just the way it was packed. Maybe I was just bugging out. I already got the signature card, so yeah. So we have is CM Punk. Oh, Maurice again, 31 out of 75. All right, put that in a plastico. Cool. So we got a few limited cards. Not bad. Not bad. 31 out of 75. Put that here. There you go, Maurice. Then we have Becky Lynch, the legend. Akam. All right, so that's all my cards for this week. But well, a few hits. Biggest one, William Regal, signature card. Very nice. Thank you guys for taking the time out. And again, for those in relationships and y'all going through a hard time right now, communication is the biggest thing, man. Communicate with each other. If it's to the point where it's in a really bad state, listen, there's couple therapy out there. I know some people may not even want to deal with that, but if you really love your partner and you want to make it work, you do whatever is necessary to make it work. So with that, I hope you guys have a good week. Enjoy WrestleMania this weekend, and thank you for sitting down and letting me open up.